Mobile gaming right now is honestly kind of insane, and I don't say that lightly, because in the past week alone, we've seen a major AAA crossover hit mobile, one of the biggest shooter failures officially shut down, which is actually insane. Millions of dollars being poured into the industry, and a new release that can literally dominate the mobile gaming space this entire year. This is the stuff you need to know, because mobile gaming isn't just growing anymore. We're getting new titles that are just different. The space is evolving. And today I want to break down 5 of the biggest, best mobile gaming news stories to hit this week. But I'm not just giving you the news. I'm going to break it down, give you my insights as well as someone who's been in the mobile gaming industry for the past 10 years. All right, let's start with something that's honestly surprised a lot of people this past week. Delta Force Mobile just dropped one of the biggest updates yet, and they didn't just add content. They went big. They brought in Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. Yeah, the actual Lara Croft. Now, on the surface, you might be thinking, okay, cool, just another skin, like we see in a lot of different collaborations, but not this one. It's actually a lot deeper than that. This update's part of an anniversary celebration, and they used it to completely refresh the gaming experience, starting with the expansion. So here's everything that came with it. You've got a fully designed Lara Croft operator skin. Okay, we're starting with skins, but it goes beyond that. A themed weapon blueprint that can actually fit her aesthetic, a brand new map with dynamic environmental elements, a recon class operator that can literally detect enemies through sound, and that last one, that's actually a big deal because it changes how people play the game entirely. It shifts the meta towards slower, more tactical gameplay instead of just running and gunning like most mobile gaming shooters. And to be honest with you, I like this. Delta Force needed something different, a new mechanic, and this is exactly one of them. But here's the part people aren't talking about enough. This isn't just about a content update, this is more about strategy. Because what Delta Force is doing right now is exactly what games like Fortnite did years ago. They're turning the game into a platform, a place where big IPs can collaborate, new players can jump in easily, and existing players keep coming back because there's always something new. And if they keep doing this consistently, Delta Force could very easily become one of the top shooters on mobile. Take for you, because I'll go a little bit further. If they optimize performance properly and keep these updates coming, the game could challenge the Call of Duty mobile franchise. And I know that sounds crazy, but we've seen it happen before. So my question to you is, when's the last time that you played Delta Force Mobile? Let me know down below if it's a forgotten shooter or if it's one that you're consistently still playing. All right, so speaking about shooters, we gotta talk about the Warzone Mobile Shutdown. Call of Duty shutting down a title is absolutely absurd. Did you see it coming? Because really, this was one of the most hyped mobile games, and it just completely collapsed. The game had everything going for it: a huge brand, massive marketing, cross progression with console, and the promise of bringing the full Warzone experience to your phone. But despite all of that, it failed. And not just a little bit. This thing failed hard. So why did it fail? Let's break it down a little bit here, because this actually matters to the future of mobile gaming. The first problem was performance. A lot of players, especially on mid-range devices, just couldn't run the game properly. Frame drops, overheating, crashes, and on mobile, this is something I hear so much from you guys, the mobile gaming community, saying, I can't play certain games on my phone, or my phone doesn't have space for it, or my phone can't run it. It's very important that the games that are being created are accessible to all gamers, not just the ones with the highest end devices. And if they are only catering to the people with the best devices, that's a death sentence. The second problem is it tried too much to be like a console, and this is something developers still don't fully understand. Mobile players don't want 30-minute matches, overly complex mechanics, or clunky controls. They want fast gameplay, smooth experiences, and instant gratification. That's just the mobile gamer way. And this is where Call of Duty Mobile absolutely destroys Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, because Call of Duty Mobile was built for mobile. Warzone Mobile, well, it was adapted to mobile. And the difference is everything. Now, on top of that, Call of Duty Mobile has been out for years prior to Warzone Mobile. If I'm a player, a dedicated player on a mobile game, am I going to leave that mobile game because a newer version comes out where all my money spent, even if it's just on the battle passes, No, I'm gonna stay true to the one that I've been playing for so long. It's very hard to tear gamers away from the games that they're playing to get them into a new version of the same franchise. Very difficult to do. Now, this is a lesson that the industry can learn right here, and this is actually a warning to all developers right now. You can't force console experiences onto mobile games. If you want to win in mobile gaming, you have to design it for mobile first. All of this said, we are seeing a lot of other games like Borderlands, Destiny, and the list goes on, coming to mobile. What are your thoughts on those experiences? Do you think they'll make it, or do you think they'll be like another Warzone Mobile or Apex Legends Mobile? Will they fail? And while one major shooter is shutting down, other games are doing the exact opposite, bringing us into our third segment for this video. Because this week has been absolutely stacked with new mobile game releases, and I do put out top 10 guides and lists for you guys right here on this channel of all the new mobile games that are dropping. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the new hotnesses that you should be playing. New hotnesses. I don't think that really is correct. So let's start out with Jetpack Joyride Racing. This one's really interesting because it's a super nostalgic IP and it completely reinvents the game. Instead of an endless runner, it's now a full-on racing game, and this is something we're seeing more often. Old IPs are becoming reimagined into new modern audiences. And well, this one's done right, and it actually works really well, and I actually just featured it in my top 10 mobile racing games video because it's a good one. Then you've got Sea of Stars coming to mobile, and this is a big moment because this is a premium indie RPG, the kind of game you'll normally only see on console or PC, now coming to mobile, which signals something important. Mobile gaming is no longer just about free to play. We're starting to see real high quality premium experiences come over, and that's what we want to see as mobile gamers. And of course, you gotta have something gacha related because we have games like Mongol Star Drive, which falls into the anime gacha category. And whether people like it or not, gacha games are dominating in the mobile space right now with a massive Asian China audience. They generate insane revenue, they keep players engaged for long amounts of time, and they're built around constant updates, so there's always something new to do inside of the game. So when you step back and look at all of this together, when you start looking at the bigger trend, mobile gaming is becoming a hybrid ecosystem. You're gonna have console quality games, gacha monetization systems, live service updates, and massive player bases, all combined onto your mobile device. All right, this next story may not look exciting on the surface, but I'm telling you right now, this is one of the most important things happening in mobile gaming because a company called Metasports Interactive just raised around $20 million in funding. And what are they doing with this money? Is this exactly where the industry is heading? Funding types of projects like this? Now, most people hear funding and they skip right past it. But if you actually understand how mobile gaming works, funding equals future direction. This is where you'll see what's coming before it hits the players. So let's break it down. That's $20 million, not just going into making the game look better, it's being used for three main things. One is user acquisition, 2 is data and analytics, and 3 is AI-driven monetization systems. And I want to explain each of these because this is where things get really interesting. User acquisition is basically buying players, and I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Companies will spend millions on ads, influencer deals, sponsored content, app store placements, just to get players into the game. And yeah, App Store placements are a thing. When you see some of the games listed as some of the best or most played, they're actually paying for that position. There may not actually be as good as the placement is showing. Just an interesting thought there that you probably never thought of when you're looking through your app store. And here's the crazy part. They're not doing it blindly. They already know how much each player is worth. If the player is expected to spend $50, they're willing to spend $20 to $30 to acquire that player. That's how calculated the industry is. And I mean, this is marketing. In any type of a marketing system, you know how much it costs to get a player. User acquisition costs. I've worked in marketing. I know how it works. And mobile games that are successful advertise heavily and have a lot of money for user acquisition. Data and analytics, though, is where things start to get pretty serious. Modern mobile games track everything, and I mean everything, like how long you play, where you stop playing, what you click on, what you ignore, what you're most likely to spend on. Every single action you take, they know. It's data. And companies like Metasports Interactive are investing heavily into systems that analyze it in real time. And then we have AI monetization, which is, AI, the new big buzzword, but, monetization, the big money maker. Let's see how they connect. Because this is the part that people don't really realize yet. AI is now being used to optimize your experience individually, which means two players can play the same game and have completely different experiences. Player one might get better offers, different rewards, easier progression, while another player gets slower progression, more aggressive monetization. Why? Because the system is testing who is more likely to spend. So when they're saying that, why does the game feel more addictive than other games or than older games? This is why. It's not accidental, basically engineered that way. And this is what a $20 million funding really represents. It's not about one game, it's about a shift in the entire industry. And now mobile gaming is, yeah, they're developing great games, but they're also developing a whole system to attract players, to maintain players, and convert those players into money, revenue, especially with the games that you download for free. Because I mean, that's the way that it's done. And this might be the biggest story this week, and honestly, one of the biggest potential games of the year. Talking about Pokemon Champions. Now on the surface, you might hear another Pokemon mobile game and think, okay, we've seen this before, but this is very different because the game is focused on competitive multiplayer battling. And this may not sound crazy at first, but if you understand Pokemon's history, this is actually a massive shift. Most Pokemon mobile games have been casual, collection focused, or PvE driven. Things like Pokemon Go. But Pokemon Champions is leaning into something completely different. Competitive PvP ecosystems. Now, they did come out with their MOBA in the past 2 years, which is competitive, but it also was highly successful. And MOBAs, at least here in the United States, are not some of the biggest genres on mobile. They're one of the lesser popular, but it still did well. So when the game focuses on PvP, everything changes because now balance changes matter, strategy matters, skill matters, and most importantly, retention goes way up. Because if you want people to keep playing your game, multiplayer experiences are the best way to do it. And if you look at the most successful mobile games right now, a lot of them have one thing in common: competitive systems like ranked modes, leaderboards, guild wars, or even PvP arenas. Competition is what keeps players coming back long term. I mean, think about Clash Royale right now. There's nothing but competitive. It's a competitive, active board style game, and it's got me addicted. And if you play it, it'll get you addicted too. Now here's where things get really interesting though about Pokemon, because it's a franchise that's perfect for exactly this. It already has a massive global player base, deep strategic mechanics, a long-term history of competitive play, so bringing that into mobile is kind of a no-brainer. It already has all the people that love the IP that are gonna try the game no matter what. And if you can get them hooked with competitive PvP after they try it, they're gonna stick around. And let me be clear, because if this game launches correctly, it has the potential to dominate mobile gaming. And when I say launch correctly, I mean smooth performance, fair matchmaking, consistent updates, and balanced monetization. If they hit those four things, this game could be huge. And of course, at the same time, it needs to have that addictive, fun gameplay. But if they go wrong and do things like over-monetize, lock competitive advantages behind spending, or fail to balance the game, they're gonna lose players quickly. And a lot of times when you get players into a game and then they leave, a lot of times they're not gonna come back. Let me ask you, you watching, if a competitive PvP style Pokemon game came to mobile, would you play it? Would you at least give it a shot? Let me know down below. That's the news for the week. 5 topics covered. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on everything relating to the best mobile game.